Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham. Jai Jai Radhe, Jai Jai Shyam, Jai Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham. Nam Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Gauranidai, Gauranidai, Patita Pavana Gauranidai.
No, I'll give a class. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana 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 Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Om Vishpada Paramams Parivirajacharya Ashtottara Satra Shri Srimati Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Iskcon founder Acharya BBT founder Acharya Jagat Guru Savior of the whole world Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada Ki Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि श्री गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा मदन मोहन श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रमाई श्री श्री गौर निताय की श्री श्री कृष्ण जन्माष्टमी महोत्सव की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru Garanga and Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Dharanchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. I'll just read the verse in translation and purport, and then we'll speak something about the Lord's appearance. Asaveva varosmakam ipshito jagatah pate prasanno bhagavan yesham apavarga gururgatihi. O Lord of the universe, you are the actual teacher of the science of devotional service. We are satisfied that your Lordship is the ultimate goal of our life. And we pray that you will be satisfied with us. That is our benediction. We do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction. Purport. In these words, the words Apavarga Gurur Gatihi is very significant. According to the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Supreme Lord is the ultimate fact of the absolute truth. Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. The absolute truth is realized in three features: impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and ultimately the Supreme Personality of Godhead Bhagavan. The word Apavarga means liberation. Pavarga means material existence. In material existence, one always works very hard but is ultimately baffled. One then dies and has to accept another body to work very hard again. This is the cycle of material existence. Apavarga means just the opposite. Instead of working hard like cats and dogs, one returns home back to Godhead. Liberation begins with merging into the Brahman effulgence of the Supreme Lord. This conception is held by Jnani Sampradaya, philosophical speculators, but the realization of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is higher. When a devotee understands that the Lord is satisfied, liberation or merging into the effulgence of the Lord is not very difficult. One has to approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the impersonal Brahman effulgence, just as one approaches sun through the sunshine. It's not very difficult to merge into the impersonal effulgence of the Brahman if one has satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Please repeat after me. O Lord of the universe, you are the actual teacher of the science of devotional service. We are satisfied that your Lordship is the ultimate goal of our lives. We pray that you will be satisfied with us. That is our benediction. We do not desire anything other than your full satisfaction. Om Jnanaatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Purijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shri Vishakan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Rupa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim. Yatkrupatamaham vande. Shri Gurum Deenatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki Jai. Jagat Guru Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it is mentioned that 3 reasons are given for observing Shri Krishna Janmashtami. The 3 reasons are, the first reason is that the Lord is very pleased when Shri Krishna Janmashtami is observed. The Lord is extremely pleased because the Lord actually comes primarily for our purpose. So, if that is recognized and acknowledged, the Lord is pleased. The second reason given is that there are Shastric injunctions everywhere which say that Sri Krishna Janmashtami festival should be observed. And it's very auspicious and so on. And the third reason is that it is mentioned in some of the scriptures that to not observe Sri Krishna Janmashtami is kind of wrong. It's almost like an offense to not observe Sri Krishna Janmashtami. We should observe because the Lord is pleased. We should observe because it is strongly recommended. And it is mentioned if somebody does not observe Sri Krishna Janmashtami, then there is something wrong in that. Then it is also mentioned that the greatest acharyas, devotees, devatas also observe Sri Krishna Janmashtami without fail, which means devotees like Prahlad and so on, Brahma, all the devatas also observe Sri Krishna Janmashtami. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadramai, Shri Shri Gaurnitai Ki. Even they observe Shri Krishna Janmashtami. And it is mentioned that, very strongly mentioned in Hari Bhakti Vilasa, that some type of fasting has to be done on the Shri Krishna Janmashtami festival. But of course, in the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, it is also mentioned that it's not that. I mean, you observe the Janmashtami festival according to your capacity. I mean, it's not that you call the whole of the town and then feed them or something like that. Whatever capacity Krishna has blessed you with, according to that, you observe the Shri Krishna Janmashtami Utsav. And it's also mentioned that it is very auspicious for the world if Shri Krishna Janmashtami is observed in a very grand manner. It says that the whole area becomes auspicious, everybody becomes happy, their heart is filled with happiness, and there is sufficient amount of rain, there is no drought, there is enough supply of grains, and like that. That is if we observe the Shri Krishna Janmashtami in an appropriate manner. One is freed from sinful reaction, one gets healthy, good children. And then one gets the strength to overcome enemies, and one gets the blessing of a kingdom and so on. So many things like this are mentioned. And it is also mentioned that there are 3 reasons why, 3 moods, 4 moods in which people observe Janmashtami. Many people observe, and there are 4 moods. One mood is called Bhaya. That means sometimes a living entity comes under the influence of fear. What happens if I don't observe, so I better observe? It's called Bhaya. The other mood is called Asha. Asha means it is in anticipation of some benediction. We are looking forward to some blessings from Krishna. We want to improve or elevate ourselves materially. Primarily materially, you want something more than what you have, and so you observe Shri Krishna Janmashtami. One is Bhaya, one is Asha, and one is Kartavya. Kartavya means it is observed as a form of duty. My father was doing, my grandfather was doing, everybody seems to be doing, so let me also do. That's called Kartavya. There's no special attraction for Krishna or anything like that. Everybody is doing, so let me also do. The 4th reason is called Raga. Raga means here is somebody who has an attraction for Krishna. He likes Krishna. Raga. Raga means attraction, some affection, attraction towards Krishna. So obviously of the four, Bhaya, Asha, Kartavya and Raga, people who do in the mood of love and affection, and with the idea that their affection for Krishna, love for Krishna continues to grow, that is called Raga. That's obviously the best way of observing the Sri Krishna Janmashtami. But the fact is, it is strongly recommended. Everybody, it is strongly recommended that one should observe the Sri Krishna Janmashtami. So, there are many descriptions, many scriptures have described the appearance of Lord Krishna, how he appears, and the way in which his advent into this material world is greeted. We all know that at one point of time, Mother Earth, Bhudevi, she felt very distressed because this world was filled with very powerful but very demoniac Kshatriya rulers. Very powerful but very demoniac Kshatriyas. And the example given is that of Kamsa, Jarasandha, Shishupala, and like that. So there were many, not just them, there were many demoniac rulers. And it is also said that somebody like Jarasandha had made an alliance of all like-minded demoniac kings. So he became a very powerful kind of a person, Jarasandha, and his son-in-law Kamsa and so on. So it so happened that in the process of becoming big and powerful, Kamsa had even sidelined his own father, Ugrasena. He had imprisoned his father and forcibly acquired the throne. So, and then from the other side, Duryodhana and people like that were also emerging at that point of time. So Mother Earth felt very anxious and was lamenting. She said that I would like to support the Mother Earth says support billions and billions of living entities who are pious and devoted. But even one person who is like this, let's say like Duryodhana or Kansa or Jarasandha or Shishupala, I feel it's a burden to carry them. Mother Earth says in some other place, she says, people who speak untruthfulness, that means who lie, they become a big burden. They are very heavy for me. I don't feel any weight when I carry the mountains like the Mount Meru or the Himalayas or the Vindhyas or anything like that. But, or let's say the Mount Kailash or something like that. I don't feel any weight when I carry all of them. But I feel the weight of even a single person who's habituated to lying and who's some kind of a non-devotee, atheistic person. I feel weight. I feel so much burdened by such people, having to carry them. So she goes and cries to Brahma and says that I'm feeling very distressful. I'm feeling that the resources of my resources are being exploited and being misused by people who are not devotees of Krishna, who are actually asuric in their mentality. And then it is said that Lord Brahma will petition the Supreme Lord Vishnu, and they go to the Kshirasagara, and then they chant the Purusha Sukta prayers and other prayers where they are in a very nice devotional spirit, in a very affectionate devotional spirit, they're submitting their problem to the Lord and saying, my Lord, like that. And it is said that the Lord reciprocates any prayer offered by any devotee in accordance with the mood of the prayer and the purity of the prayer. The Lord will reciprocate, and the Lord comes in front of Brahma, and we know the story. And then he says, all right, it is coinciding with my desire to appear in this world, in this material world. So I will appear in this material world, and this is where I will appear. The Lord will disclose to them where he will appear. And then it is mentioned in the scriptures also, specifically in the Gopala Vrindavana Champu, it is mentioned that the Lord will disclose that he also has some internal reasons why he wants to appear. There are some internal reasons. Externally, yes, there is the Asuras growing in number and they're becoming powerful. And just as Lord Rama appeared when Ravana was there, and Tataka, Maricha and others were there, Lord Krishna will say, all right, I can see that there is an imbalance in society. The asuras are becoming more in number and looks like they're becoming powerful. And so it's about time that I appear. So the Lord will choose to appear. But the scriptures say the Lord has some confidential reasons for his appearance. While it is said that he appears because of the apparently the reason is Brahma comes and makes a prayer and then he appears. But it is said that the Lord comes and he says that I will appear in Vrindavana, I'll appear as the son of Nanda and Yashoda. Devaki, Vasudeva, Nanda, Yashoda. Because I have a long pending promise that I have given them. I've given a promise to Vasudeva and Devaki that I'll appear as their child. And momentarily, for a brief moment, they will enjoy this Vatsalya Bhava towards me. Very briefly. It seemed like their mood was, we want to have Krishna as our son. As our son, we should give birth to, we should be the cause for Lord's appearance. Whereas Nanda and Yashoda had a completely different mood. Nanda and Yashoda's mood was that we want to experience the blissful, all blissful pastimes, sweet nectarian pastimes of your childhood. So Krishna says that I have that two long pending promises, Devaki and Vasudeva, Nanda and Yashoda. So I will appear now to fulfill those promises also. We all know that Devaki and Vasudeva were Sutapa and Vrishni in their previous life, and they've done penances for millions of years, 10,000 years or something, or 10,000 years or more, for seeking, for wanting to have Krishna as their child. So Krishna says that is pending. Nanda Yashoda's blessing is pending, desire is pending. And then he says, the Lord says that I had made a promise to the sages of Dandakaranya, that when I appeared as Lord Ramachandra, they were very attracted to my, to the Leela, that is, the very affectionate and very sweet dealings between Lord Rama and Sita. So they became very attracted, and all of them made a prayer that, my Lord, it is so attractive. We wish to serve you in the same manner in which Mother Sita is serving you. We wish to serve you in the same manner in which Mother Sita is serving you. Then Lord Rama says, no, it's not possible in this appearance, in this avatara. But a time will come when I'll appear, and I'll give all of you a chance to appear at that point of time. So it is said that the sages of Dandakaranya had achieved such high level of perfection that the Lord allows them to appear in Vrindavana as gopis. In addition to that, it is said that in the Bhagavatam also it is said that the Shrutis means the Vedic scriptures which glorify Krishna. Please understand, the one and the only purpose of scripture is to glorify Krishna, glorify devotional service, describe his transcendentally sweet, ecstatic Leela, describe the Leelas, glorify Krishna, glorify his name, glorify his activities, and the devotees also. Shruti. Though the Shruti means scriptures, written books, which describe all these. So the Shrutis will make a prayer. We are only describing. When will the day come when we will also experience that sweetness that the devotees are experiencing? We are already experiencing that sweetness by describing these describing these Leelas. We are experiencing one type of sweetness by describing these Leelas. And we are experiencing the highest type of happiness that we can experience by way of describing. So even the scriptures that describe, even the scriptures are, shall we say, experiencing ecstasy because the perfection of the spoken word is when it is used to glorify Krishna. The perfection of shlokas or poetry is when it's used to glorify Krishna. So Shrutis are compilation of all Leelas of Krishna. So the scriptures are saying it's nice. We've achieved ecstatic happiness. But are we fortunate? Can we also experience participation in such Leela? You see, there's a difference. I'm describing, but can I also participate? Yes, by reading these books, the Shrutis will explain, by reading these descriptions, millions of people around the world are becoming devotees. How about giving us a chance to participate, assist you in your Leelas? Krishna will say, all right, your wish also I'll fulfill. Nanda Maharaj's wish I'll fulfill. Yashoda Maya's wish I'll fulfill. Devaki Vasudeva's wish I'll fulfill. The sages of Dandakaranya, their wishes I will fulfill. So all of these are listed, and then it is also mentioned in our scriptures that yes, of course, he comes to lessen the burden of the earth. because there are so many Asuric kings. Krishna comes to lessen the burden of the earth. He comes to preach the Bhagavad Gita. He comes to show how he is specially inclined towards his devotees, how he is specially affectionately inclined to his devotees. He wants to come and show that. And then the Lord has an internal confidential desire. He wants to experience Shringara Rasa once again. Shringara Rasa. That means the mellow of Madhurya. The most intimate way in which Krishna can be served is through Shringara Rasa or Madhurya Rasa. So Krishna says, I want to appear, I want to experience, and not only that, I want to show to the people of this world that don't get enamored with what you see in this world. Up there in the spiritual world with me, the very pure, uncontaminated, ecstatic feeling of love can be expressed and experienced. So come to me. So Krishna feels that time has come for me to experience all of this, and so he accents. That means he says, all right, I'm going to appear. And this is where I'm going to appear. I'm going to appear in the prison, Devaki and Vasudeva's child, and then I'll appear, and I'll be transferred to Nanda and Yashoda, and I'll display my childhood pastimes in Vrindavan as a son of Nanda and Yashoda. So, keeping all this in mind, also it says that the Lord appears because he wants to show his very uncommon, transcendentally sweet childhood pastimes also. He wants to display all of this, and hence the Lord agrees to come there. Then, for pages and pages and pages, the scriptures describe the beauty of Vrindavan. It is very difficult to convey how beautiful Vrindavan was at the time when Krishna was appearing. It is, like I said, the perfection of poetry is when it is describing Krishna's Leela. The perfection of Shravanam, hearing, is when we hear Krishna's Leela. Krishna's Leela, or the Leela of his friends and his associates and devotees. The perfection of eyes is to see the lotus feet of Krishna and the lotus feet of devotees of Krishna. The perfection of Mother Earth is when she's receiving, getting ready to receive Krishna. As soon as Krishna says, yes, I'm going to appear, it is said that Mother Earth already starts feeling great sense of anticipation and happiness. And when Krishna says, this is the place where I'm going to appear, that's Vrindavan. It said that slowly Vrindavan starts transforming in preparation for the arrival of Krishna. So it's explained that in Vrindavan, where Krishna is due to appear, everything is slowly changing. Everything is slowly changing. It said that the good is becoming better. The residents of happy residents of Vrindavan are becoming much more happier, much more ecstatic, and everywhere in Vrindavan there is auspicious chanting of the Vedic scriptures and the homas and the yajnas, and different things are happening all over Vrindavan, and the quality of happiness, vitality, and energy of all the devotees of Vrindavan is increasing. But in the scripture it is mentioned, that at the same time, the asuras, the demons, and the demoniac class of men started experiencing a decrease in their vigor and vitality, and they started aging rapidly. And they started seeing the ominous, that means dangerous signs that their lifespan is reducing. So the demoniac also feel the heat of Krishna's appearance even before he appears. So demoniac people are feeling that some impending ominous signs of disaster is going to strike them very soon. So they're panicking. Everything is same, but suddenly their panic and fear, everything is increasing because Krishna is going to come there. And then finally, at the chosen hour, on the Ashtami of the Bhadrapada Masa, the waning moon after Balram Purnima, the waning moon, the shrinking moon, Ashtami of Bhadrapada Masa, when the moon is shrinking, on the confluence of Rohini Nakshatra and Ashtami. And it's also mentioned that at that point of time, astrologically, there is another constellation, there's a formation called Ayushman Tithi or something, where all these stars and planets are perfectly arranged. So that is the time when Krishna chooses to appear in the jail of Kamsa. And then it is said that he chooses to appear in Chandravamsha. Chandravamsha, it is said that it's halfway through. In 15 days, the sun, the moon, which was fully bright on Balram Jayanti, gets into Amavasya. So 8 days means it's half complete moon, half moon. But it said that he appears in the Chandravamsha, and though the moon is supposed to appear half bright, half only. But because the Lord is appearing in the Chandravamsha, it says that moon actually is fully effulgent on that day. Completely effulgent, almost as if it is Paurnami. But the scriptures also point out that the Lord did not need the moon. You understand? The Lord did not need the moon to light up the environment at his appearance. He could do it himself with his bodily effulgence. He could do it himself with it, but nevertheless he gives the credit to the moon, saying, because I'm appearing in the Chandravamsha, the moon is also rejoicing. So there's nothing in this world that is not rejoicing the appearance of Krishna. Krishna is all auspicious. Krishna is very, very perfect. It is mentioned that Krishna is like the water given to chakora birds or something like that, which are waiting for rain. After many, many seasons of dry weather. And suddenly it starts raining. Imagine the relief that these chakora birds will feel. Because these chakora birds actually feed off rainwater only. So that's how this world is feeling at the appearance of Lord Krishna. And then the Lord appears. Of course, the story is there. He appears actually in the prison house of Vasudeva and Devaki, where Kamsa has imprisoned them. And then Vasudeva transports Krishna out of fear that no harm should come to this baby child, Krishna. And so he transports and transfers Krishna into Vrindavana, Nanda Gokula, and then he brings the baby girl child who was born to Yashoda, and places Yashoda, the girl child born to Yashoda, next to Devaki. Now, after Yashoda gave birth to a child, it is said that she experienced so much maternity pains, so much child pains of that childbirth, that is said that she blissfully forgot, and then she was sleeping after the childbirth. It is said that she even forgot whether she gave birth to a boy or a girl. She forgot. She was blissfully unaware. But then we know that all this is a game of Yoga Maya. The girl child is born, girl child is gone, and baby Krishna is there. And so Krishna just uses Yoga Maya to mask her feelings. So nobody even understands that it was a girl who was born, and the next morning they wake up and then they see it's a boy. They just don't, it doesn't register in them because they're all tired, blissfully tired. Actually, Krishna's Yoga Maya makes that happen. So it is said that they're all sleeping. Everybody is tired because Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda had a child after many, many years of not having children. Many years of not having children. So she was a little elderly at that point of time. And so for her, having a child was a little unusual at that age, but she does have a child. She's blessed with Krishna. And then what happens is that the next morning, when Krishna sees everything is all right, time for me to wake up, wake them up, Krishna starts crying. It's time for me to wake them up. Krishna starts crying. Imagine a little baby squeaking. So that sound wakes up Yashoda Maya, because she was sleeping in a room next to the maternity room, and and before she could even get up and get out of the bed, all the gopis threes who are guarding that room just run into that room, because they've placed Krishna there, and they look at baby Krishna. And when they look at baby Krishna, they're stunned. Actually, even the sound of Krishna's crying, little baby squeaks and crying, is like the most sweetest of among all nectarian sounds in this material world. Baby Krishna's crying also is so mesmerizingly sweet. It just jolts Yashoda Maya out of her sleep. Tired, exhausted, fatigued sleep, she jolts her up. And she gets up saying, what am I hearing? What is this such melodious sound that's coming? Where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? And then she realized it's the little baby that she gave birth to last night. And she rushes into that room. By the time there were so many other gopis there. And it is said that, actually it's the descriptions of what happens when Krishna appeared is, I can only say it's perfection in poetry, perfection in all forms of poetry. There is the rhetoric style, there is a style of glorification. There are different types of poetry. But perfection of all styles of poetry is when it's being used to describe the birth of Krishna and what happens after his birth. It is the perfection of written word, perfection of intelligence is to write something like that. So many acharyas have commented on the birth of Krishna. So she looks at Krishna for the first time and she starts thinking, she for a moment forgets that Krishna is my child because she's mesmerized by the beauty of the Lord. She's looking at the Lord, closing her eyes, looking again, closing her eyes, looking again. She just cannot believe that somebody as beautiful as this can even exist. One time, Yashoda Maya looks at the child and Krishna appears like Yashoda Maya thinks of Krishna as a combination of different flowers. Lotus like eyes and Mallika like nails and like that. So she gives a string of names. Seemed like even and Krishna's body was so gentle and tender. Very gentle and soft. It's explained that his body was like a new leaf that is just unfurled. You try to understand a new leaf that is just unfurled. How tender, how gentle it is. Krishna's body is like that. Yashoda Maya is thinking, even if the slightest amount of breeze is there, it may hurt Krishna. So gentle, so tender, and so soft Krishna's body is. Yashoda Maya is looking at Krishna and his body, and sometimes Yashoda Maya is thinking, no, it's not flowers. Actually, Krishna is made up of precious gems. His teeth are like emerald. His nails are like pearls. His chest is like, diamond, like that. So, sometimes in Yashoda Maya's mind, what is running through is Krishna is a combination of jewels. Sometimes what is running through is a combination of flowers. She's comparing Krishna to flowers. She's comparing Krishna to, lotus and Mallika and Jata and like that, different types of flowers. And then sometimes she's comparing Krishna to diamonds and this and that. And then Yashoda Maya goes close to Krishna. Krishna is so perfectly made out that when she looks at Krishna, she sees a reflection of her face in Krishna's chest. So perfectly made out. She sees a reflection of herself on Krishna's chest. And then it is said that Yashoda Maya, out of motherly affection, she starts shedding tears of joy and ecstasy. Tears of joy. And her tears are falling on Krishna's body. And then the acharyas explain that tears are arranging themselves like a pearl necklace around Krishna. The tears drops are arranging themselves like a pearl necklace around Krishna's body. So Yashoda Maya becomes she's wondering, where did this pearl necklace come from, which is adorning Krishna's body? But actually it was her tears. And then she picks up Krishna, and she's so scared to pick up Krishna because she thinks that even the touch of my hands might hurt Krishna. Krishna has curled up his fingers like this and is holding like this. The acharyas explain that if they look at Krishna's hand, then they'll see the divine symbols of Shankha, Gada, fish, lotus and other things, and a trident and other things, because these are all auspicious sign marks which are there on Krishna's hand. And should Yashoda see them, she might think that, oh, this Krishna, this son of mine, is very divine personality. Maybe she will guess that maybe it's Narayana. So Krishna doesn't want that to happen, and so he clasps his hand, makes it into a fist. And when he does that, when he turns his hand into a fist by curling his fingers, it's said that Krishna's fist looks like a lotus bud. It's very sweetly curled up lotus bud. Yashoda Maya is hesitating to unwrap his fingers. She's looking at, and then the other senior gopis will show Yashoda Maya how to feed Krishna. And then she will feed Krishna. No, it said that even before she actually starts feeding Krishna, even when she is looking at Krishna, it said that milk is oozing out from her body and it's dripping on Krishna. Milk is oozing out from her body. So now we should understand why Krishna chose Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj to be the parents. They are not ordinary devotees. They are not ordinary devotees. That's why I said the perfection of Vatsalya Rasa is what is exhibited by Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Absolute, complete perfection. So milk is oozing out of her chest. And then she's looking at Krishna and she's worried. Krishna is drenched. It's like Krishna is being bathed from the milk coming out of her chest. And she takes the tip of her cloth to wipe out, gently wipe Krishna. And the senior gopis who are there show Yashoda Maya how to feed baby Krishna. And baby Krishna starts sucking and then he is feeding. And then it is said that when he's feeding, milk is spilling out from the tips of his mouth. It's spilling. And then it is like, even that appears like some ornament on Krishna's face. And some of the milk. And then when Yashoda Maya looks at Krishna, Yashoda Maya sees that there's some white spots on his chest. Mother Yashoda thinks maybe milk is spilled there. And then she takes the tip of her cloth and starts wiping gently. But it doesn't go. That is actually the Srivatsa mark of Krishna. That is the Srivatsa mark of Krishna. It is said that Krishna appeared with all these divine symbols, but Krishna had within him the Shankha, not the Shankha, the flute, and he had it with him. He had not yet manifested his flute. He had kept it within himself. So then Mother Yashoda realizes that there's something else. Then it gets even more ecstatic when we hear what happens to Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj is staying outside and he hears this excitement going around, that they're all running into the maternity room and all of them come out because when they're inside they forget everything when they're looking at baby Krishna. And someone reminds them, we should go and tell Nanda Maharaj, we should give him the happy news. And so they all come out and they look at Nanda Maharaj is waiting outside with so much anxiety, and they said, you have now become the proud father of a wonderful son. They inform Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj becomes so ecstatic and Nanda Maharaj has his 4 brothers, Abhinandan, Upananda, Sunanda, and Upananda. He has 2 elder brothers and 2 younger brothers. All of them are there. And then it is said, what happens to Nanda Maharaj when he goes inside the room to have darshan of Krishna? He is actually escorted. As soon as he hears that it's a baby boy, and even when he's hearing the squeaking sound of Krishna, he also becomes completely transformed. He doesn't know what's happening to himself. So he's escorted in, and when he looks at Krishna, it is said that he freezes. He freezes. It is said that he appeared like a sculpture, like a statue. He appeared like a figure in a painting. He freezes when he sees Krishna. He says, how could I be so fortunate? What did I do in this life or any of my previous lives to have a son like this? What did I do? He freezes. It's just like a statue. He's just watching Krishna in total amazement and ecstasy. So Krishna is like that. The appearance of Krishna does strange things. Very ecstatic reaction happens from different people. And basically, you see, we receive Krishna in the form of darshan of the deity, form of the Lord. We understand Krishna, we receive Krishna through oral reception. That means when we hear descriptions of the Lord and the Lord's pastimes and the Lord, even sound vibrations of Krishna. We receive Krishna through the sound vibration of chanting of Hare Krishna mantra, or chanting of the different names of the Lord. And we also experience the presence of Krishna when we are serving him in many unique ways. But the point is that Krishna is very special. He is incomparably special. Now, the descriptions of the Vedic scriptures explain that nothing else in this material world, no other phenomena from the time of beginning of creation until now, no other phenomena can match what happens in this world, material world, when Krishna appears. When Krishna appears, like I said, there are pages and pages of description of how Vrindavan slowly becomes transformed. It's difficult to say what, it gets transformed. It is said that the, 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 the water in the rivers becomes nectarian. The trees become like kalpavriksha. They're yielding fruits. The birds are experiencing so much like that. All these things are explained. So when Nanda Maharaj goes inside, he becomes completely stunned. He becomes like a statue. He's just looking, gazing at Krishna and thinking, what is the good fortune? Which sadhu, who has blessed me? Who has blessed me to have a son like this? And then they take Krishna to perform the purificatory rituals. And by that time, so many brahmanas and other people have arrived. Brahmanas, the Panagairis, and the other the village singers and the music troupe, etc. And they're all playing. They're all playing musical instruments. The Brahmanas are chanting. The Panagairis are glorifying Nanda Maharaj and like that. And then it is said that different people come from from different parts of the town, village of Vrindavan with different musical instruments. They're all coming there with musical instruments, and they're playing the musical instruments. And the gopis trees who are inside, some of them come out, and it is said that they are singing about the beauty of Krishna. The beauty of Krishna. They're also singing praises of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda for having become parents of a child like this. And it's said that most of the songs are so spontaneously composed. They are composing the song as they're singing. They are composing the song as they're singing it. And the music, and many people are playing different types of musical instruments. Some are blowing the kettle, beating the kettles, blowing the conch, blowing this. Different things are happening, all of them. But it, on the whole, it appears like a very, very well organized transcendental orchestra or a symphony. Though many of them doing many things spontaneously, the cumulative effect of all of that is like a orchestra, like a symphony, where many people are trained for months together to play their part. But these are all doing it spontaneously because Yogamaya is there. Yogamaya is making everything happen so perfectly. It appears like it's a whole huge, massive festival, well organized kirtan practiced for many years or whatever. And it is said that the word, by word of mouth, the word goes around all over Vrindavan that Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya have a baby son. So all the residents of Vrindavan are packing whatever they can bring and coming towards Nanda Maharaj's house. And there is descriptions of how happy. See, we must understand that when we worship Krishna, or when we actually become a little selfless in our service of Krishna, and we are thinking only about how to please Krishna, or how to, serve Krishna in an unconditional, selfless way, it's a very different feeling from that of, let's say, what the devatas or others experience when they serve Krishna with asa. It's mentioned with some desire. When we get into raga, when we get into a mood of but then if you want to get into raga, we have to generally go through some of these processes, either kartavya or bhaya or asha. And then the transformation happens by the mercy of an acharya. A guru, another Vaishnava blesses you, and all of this becomes raga. Raga means attraction for Krishna, affection for Krishna. So the transformatory energy, or shall we say the mercy, is given by the acharyas, by guru, by Vaishnavas. When they bless you, then we also develop what is known as raga. Raga means affection for Krishna. And then it is said that there are so many of these residents who are rushing to Nanda Maharaj's compound as soon as they hear that Lord Krishna has arrived or has manifested. So they're rushing and they're picking up whatever they can, gold and silver. Oh, By the way, Nanda Maharaj comes out of his room, and it is said that among the first thing that he does, he summons all the Brahmanas who are there and from other parts and gifts them cows and calves. And each one of these cow is decorated with gold and silver ornaments. He gifts all of them. And then the description is there that Nanda Maharaj is gifting so liberally, so generously to all these the Brahmanas and the devotees and the people who have come to glorify his friends, his relatives, whoever has come. He's actually giving indiscriminately because he's in that mood. He's just giving to whoever comes there, whoever he sees, is giving charity. It's said that Lakshmi Devi, who's there in a sense, who's there supporting, or shall we say, facilitating all of this. It's said that Lakshmi Devi is not able to produce wealth at a rate to match Nanda Maharaj's rate at which he is giving. He is giving so liberally and generously that she is not able to keep up with the pace at which Nanda Maharaj is distributing his wealth. Lakshmi Devi is not able to keep up. And he said that she is giving everything, and finally she starts removing whatever she has and she gives that also. And all that she is left with is one lotus flower in her hand at the end of Nanda Maharaj's ceremony of giving. He gives so liberally, so much he gives. So it's said that anybody who participates in the whole cycle, Krishna's appearance, Krishna's birth, Krishna's glorification, Krishna hears by participating, or even participation through the process of proper, authentic, authorized Shravanam as coming in the parampara. We are also partaking, we are also participating in the Leela of Krishna. See, Krishna himself says, Brahmadi Devatas, Prahlad, everybody should celebrate Janmashtami. My appearance, you should all celebrate. Well, you couldn't say it is a narcissistic or something like that. Krishna, it's like Krishna and all the devotees are one family. They're one single family. So, just as much as we celebrate the appearance day of Krishna, we should understand that Krishna also celebrates everything good that happens in the life of his devotees. It's not that Krishna is saying, all of you serve me and that's it. I'm the receiver of all your services, and yeah, please continue to do so. Don't stop, be selfless. No, that's not the way we look at Krishna. That's not how we understand. Just as much as we come forward, Krishna actually comes forward in a much more generous way. Like I just mentioned, Nanda Maharaj is giving away so much jewelry and gold and all that. It's said that Nanda Maharaj gives tons and tons of gold and silver that these gopis and the others who come just to visit Krishna, they are in the courtyard of their houses, there are heaps of jewels and heaps of jewels that are kept. Nanda Maharaj gives away so much. So anybody who glorifies Krishna, hears about Krishna, serves Krishna, chants his name, or appreciates Krishna in any form, appreciates the Leela of Krishna, the message of Krishna Bhagavad Gita, the beauty of Krishna, appreciates Krishna, or wants to serve in any way, directly or indirectly also, if you're connected, you become rewarded. You become rewarded in many ways. Of course, the devotees want to be rewarded only by one way. We want that our bhakti for Krishna becomes nischala. Nischala means our bhakti for Krishna should grow. It becomes more intense, more selfless, more complete, and more, what can I say, more tivra, very intense, that's the word. So that's all the devotees will pray for. So he is giving so much that Lakshmi Devi is almost bankrupt. She just has one lotus flower in her hand at the end of this whole ceremony when Nanda Maharaj is giving out charity. So then it is also explained in the book Ananda Vrindavana Champu, it is said that then the gopis who have left out, who didn't come in the first wave, first wave of those, maybe they were the immediate neighbors of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. They came running into Nanda's house. And then there's a second wave, then there's a third wave. Like that, waves after waves of devotees are coming to see Krishna, to see baby Krishna, and to bless him. And in between, like I said, spontaneously they're creating songs and they're singing and there's musical instruments, and it appears like it's like a whole orchestra of divine, transcendental, ecstatic sounds. And sound, the entity called sound is feeling perfection. Perfection of my existence has happened today because they're using me to glorify Krishna. and let me assist that process. So Yoga Maya, it is said, is right behind the scene, facilitating all of this. So that's perfection of sound, perfection of existence of a living entity is to be connected back with Krishna and glorifying Krishna in some way. So the second and the third waves are coming. Second and third waves, they pick up whatever they have in their house on gold plates, fruits, and this and jewels, and they want to gift Yashoda Maya and the newborn baby Krishna. So they're running, and they bring butter and cheese and yogurt and milk and ghee, tons and tons of it they're carrying, and they're coming. All of them are, they say all roads head to Rome. There's an English thing. But all roads lead to Nanda Maharaj's house on that day. Actually, from that day onwards. It's not that after Krishna appeared, they stopped coming. From that day onwards, Nanda Maharaj's house becomes a center of the universe, of the whole universe. Everybody is heading to Nanda Maharaj's house. Everybody is heading to Nanda Maharaj's house. So they're all heading. And then it is said that as soon as they reach Nanda Maharaj's compound, they're overwhelmed with happiness. They're completely overwhelmed with happiness. That and once they peep in and look at Krishna and his beauty, and they come out, they are also they get into a very celebratory mood. And then they're offering Krishna, and then they start taking this butter, cheese, and ghee and yogurt, and they start applying on each other's face and splashing it on everybody. They're splashing it on everybody, butter, cheese, yogurt, milk. And then it is said that the cows in the Goshala, they're also expectantly looking in the direction of Krishna's room, because their Lord has appeared. And then they go and smear the cows and the calves with all this butter and ghee and yogurt and milk, and they pour. And after some time, everybody who comes there, everybody who's coming there, because they're all, the mercantile class, they have this so much of milk and ghee, they're all bringing all of that, and they're splashing it on each other. They're splashing out of inexplicable, unexplainable, infinite amount of joy and ecstasy. Actually, that is what Krishna appearance does to this material world. That is what Krishna's appearance does to a living entity. When we properly receive Krishna's instruction, the Gita, the holy name of the Lord from Guru, the instructions, and we properly have darshan. I mean, that's the perfection of living, perfection of eyes, perfection of thinking, perfection of words, perfection of everything. Perfection of our very existence is when we come and reconnect back to Krishna in a mood of devotional service. So very soon, from Nanda Maharaj's compound, these milk and yogurt and ghee and butter and cheese are flowing out. It is said the town of Vrindavan becomes flooded by the milk and the ghee and the butter and the yogurt that's flowing. The drains get clogged. They're flowing everywhere. And then Ananda Vrindavana Champu, it explains that the devatas are also so ecstatic, and they are trying not to miss out on this ecstasy of the appearance of Krishna, that it said that they take the form of birds. And they come into Vrindavan, and they're tasting this nectarian fluid, or shall we say, mixture of yogurt, ghee, butter, cheese, this and that. They come and dip their beaks into that, and they're drinking that nectarian fluid that is flowing out of Nanda Maharaj's compound. So that is how the world, the universe celebrates the appearance of Lord Krishna. That's how. So it's to say that Krishna appeared to establish dharma, or just to kill. Prabhupada mentioned this many times, to kill Kamsa or some asura. It is said that Krishna doesn't appear for that. Krishna appears for his own internal reason. He says to glorify Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, Devaki and Vasudeva, to show my pastimes, to show how favorably inclined I am to my devotees, Svajanaha, my own people, my own devotees, and how much these devotees enjoy. So he shows how the gopis and the gopas and others are in great amount of ecstasy just by seeing Krishna. Krishna has not yet commenced his Leela. His first Leela is his appearance. that itself is a huge Leela. It's not that, okay, the Lord is appeared now, now he will start his Leelas. No, his appearance itself is a tumultuous, mind-boggling, earth-shattering kind of a phenomena that happens. And bliss, I mean, to say happiness is a very weak word. To say they're happy, they were very happy, they were extremely happy. Actually, words will fail to capture the mood of the residents of Vrindavan. It's not possible to capture the mood of residents of Vrindavan. Actually, there's another portion in this book, Gopala Vrindavana Champu. There's another portion which I think is a literary masterpiece. I've never come across anything like that. There's a whole section in that book. It said, how blessed were the citizens of Vrindavana. Actually, whenever we read blessed are the citizens of Vrindavan, we should understand that Prabhupada and Lord Chaitanya have told us, that have taught us the way in which we can actually become the servants of the residents of Vrindavan. Servants of the residents of Vrindavan. And then, of course, there is also, by the way, there is descriptions of how, okay, that comes a little later, how Radharani reacts and so on. I don't want to get into that now today. So, it is said that for a few pages in that book, it is explained how, say, for example, the Sanskrit word danda. Sanskrit word danda means punishment. The Sanskrit word danda does not exist in Vrindavan's lexicon. Lexicon means dictionary, because danda means punishing. So in Vrindavan, there's nobody who needs to be punished. So the word danda doesn't exist in their vocabulary itself. Similarly, kuta means kapata or kuta or something, deceitful. So those words themselves, they don't enter the realm of Vrindavan, because Vrindavan, nobody is deceitful, everybody is blissful, everybody is happy, everybody is a devotee, everybody is celebrating, everybody is blissful, everybody wants to serve each other. And like that, he gives a long list of words which are not existing in the vocabulary, or whatever. In one sense, you could say that these words they're not required when we talk about Krishna's Leela, Vrindavan, the devotees, etc. So he gives a long list of words. And then he says, if at all the word comes, then, the word appears as a part of another word, which is describing, Krishna's flute or something like that. But on its own, in a standalone way, none of these words exist in the dictionary of the devotees of Vrindavan. So that is how Krishna's appearance is celebrated. Okay. Now, there's another aspect which is also explained here. Yashoda Maya and Nanda Maharaj, or the gopis, for example, when they look at Krishna, they keep blinking. So even their blinking is explained. So blissfully explained. So they blink they look at Krishna for some time, and they're not able to, they're overwhelmed by saying, how can anybody be so perfect and so beautiful, so tender and so gentle? So, actually, in the scripture it's mentioned, sometimes it's mentioned Krishna is like ghee. Sometimes it's no. Maybe he's like butter. No. Maybe he's a liquid form. I mean, he's actually liquid who's taken the form of a body. Because they're thinking, how else to explain something that can be so gentle and soft and tender. So they say sometimes his body is like that of a newly unfolding lotus bud, or newly unfolding leaf, or like butter, like ghee, like this, like a liquid which is taken the form of. So he's so soft and okay. Now, why do they blink? So this acharyas explain that when they look at Krishna, they're mesmerized. They want to digest. How can somebody be so beautiful? They close their eyes to for them, it's a believe it or not. Is it believable that there's a child who's so blissful, so beautiful? And so when they are seeing Krishna, they are experiencing so much happiness and ecstasy, and they're blinking just to register. Okay, sometimes they say in scripture, you pinch yourself to believe whether you're awake or dreaming or sleeping. In English they use this phrase. You pinch yourself to make sure you're actually, something very good is happening to you. You can't believe it. So pinch yourself. It's actually true what's happening. So they close their eyes and they want to open again and see, okay, I just want to make sure I'm not dreaming, I'm not hallucinating, I'm not imagining. So they close their eyes and they say, when they open their eyes, when they see that Krishna looks even more beautiful, even more beautiful. And it is said that they look even more beautiful. I mean, Krishna looks even more beautiful. And Krishna is also looking at them, and Krishna is also saying, actually, as their life achieves perfection, being there when Krishna appeared, glorifying Krishna, sing. So they are also becoming more and more attractive. See, the living entity's perfection, it comes when it's connected back to Krishna. When you're connecting back to Krishna, that is when you're perfect. That is when your intrinsic, your inherent, your dormant beauty, or shall we say, because we are like Krishna in many, we are like Krishna, we are infinitesimal parts of Krishna. Krishna is so much, but a little bit of that is there in us because we are like Krishna. We made in the line of made like Krishna. So it said that when the living entity is in the presence of Krishna and serving Krishna, etc., 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 the living entity also starts manifesting so much beauty. And it said that Krishna is looking at them and saying, hey, how is it they're becoming more and more beautiful? So it's like a whole competition. Krishna is becoming beautiful because they're happy. They're becoming beautiful because Krishna is beautiful. Like that. So that's how this blinking of the devotees of Krishna is explained. That each time they open their eyes and see this Krishna, hey, he's even more beautiful than what I saw him a few moments back. Again, they close their eyes because they want to believe it. And then again they open. And Krishna's beauty is increasing infinitely. This is Krishna. This is Krishna. Krishna means it's not that he came here to speak the 700 slokas of the Bhagavad Gita. No, Krishna is Krishna is not so much concerned about handling, let's say, the asuras, that he can do effortlessly. He does that effortlessly. And by the way, it is said that he battles with the asuras only in the material world. Spiritual world, asuras don't exist. So for him, it's kind of a Leela that he indulges in once in a while when he comes into this material world to reduce the burden of the earth. But back there in the spiritual world, it's a different kind of mood, different kind of Leela. So it's not that he comes, that is the principal aspect of Krishna. It's not Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya Dushkrutam. It's not Vinashaya Dushkrutam. That's not the primary purpose of Krishna. Krishna's primary purpose is to show how much he loves his devotees, how much he cares for his devotees. If you read the Mahabharata, for instance, or the Srimad Bhagavatam, for instance, in Srimad Bhagavatam, you don't see so much of a mention of Krishna's Bhagavad Gita. Krishna's Bhagavad Gita is very carefully positioned in Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita is not there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna speaks the Uddhava Gita, different things in the Srimad Bhagavatam. His mood is very, very different. It's not so much Krishna speaking. In the Bhagavatam, we have showcased the glorification of Krishna by the devotees, starting from the first canto, Kunti Devi, then Bhishma, like that. In every canto, there is glorification. The Devatas repeatedly, in many cantos, the glorification offered the sons of Prachetas, like that. Different glorification of Krishna is showcased in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita is there within the Mahabharata. Actually, the Mahabharata also is very, very captivating in the sense that it shows, while it shows Krishna in a little different mood compared to his mood in the Bhagavatam, one thing that we can undisputably establish by reading the Mahabharata is how favorably inclined Krishna is to his devotees. How, favorably is inclined towards devotees, protecting them, guarding them, taking care of their happiness, etc. Is so completely inclined. Though in Mahabharata, most of the devotees who interact with him are probably in, let's say, the Dasya Bhava, and a little bit in the Mahabharata, a little bit in the Sakya Bhava. So the dealings of Krishna with his devotees in the Vatsalya, in very intimate type of Sakya Bhava, is there in the Bhagavatam and Madhurya. In Mahabharata, it's more Dasya and a little bit Sakya. Little bit Sakya Bhava. So it is mentioned that even that Leela of Krishna is so sweet. As soon as Krishna hears that his dear friend Yudhishthira is going to perform Rajasuya Yajna, he asks Narada, he says, You travel around the world. Which are the last few places that you went to? By any chance, did you happen to visit Indraprastha? The Narada Muni says, yes, I did visit Indraprastha. I met your good friend. I met your devotees, the Pandavas. Immediately Krishna asks him, so how are they? How are they doing? Actually, Krishna has left Indraprastha and come to Dwarka just maybe a month or so. Within a few days after Krishna has left Indraprastha and come to Dwarka, Narada Muni visits him. Immediately Krishna is asking, so where were your visits? Where all did you go? Did you go to Indraprastha? As soon as he says, Narada says, yes, I went to, Krishna asks him, how are they doing? How are my dear friends doing? How are my dear friends? And so Yudhishthira and the Pandavas, how are they doing? Are they okay? Do they have any message for me? Then Narada Muni says, yes, by the way, they have sent a message for you. And Krishna says, so what is it? What's the new thing? What are they up to? Then Narada Muni says that Yudhishthira told me that it is in his heart a desire to perform the Rajasuya Yajna. Then Krishna says, oh, that's very nice. It's very nice. If there is anybody in this world at the present moment who is qualified to perform the Rajasuya Yajna, it is Yudhishthira. He is the greatest of all kings, most just, most fair, most honest, most loving, affectionate, compassionate, forgiving, etc. Krishna glorifies Yudhishthira and says, and then Krishna immediately thinks, and then Narada Muni tells Krishna, but they are hesitating to start the procedures because they want to make sure that this has your blessing. This has your blessing. And Krishna says, so thoughtful of Yudhishthira. I expected he would do this. They are so dependent on me. They're so intimately connected. I'm thoughtful. I understand that Yudhishthira will not move ahead with the Rajasuya Yajna plans unless he hears from me what is my opinion. So immediately it said, Krishna makes arrangements to go to Indraprastha. He says, come. He's making arrangements to go back to Indraprastha. And this time when he goes back to Indraprastha, it says he takes his whole family. He takes his wives, he takes a whole caravan, miles and miles long caravan. And then additionally, he takes so much wealth from Dwarka to be gifted to Yudhishthira. He says, performing in the Rajasuya Yajna is a very costly, expensive affair. And this is my little way of helping my friend. He says he takes tons, caravan, huge caravan loaded with mules and horses and camels and elephants loaded with wealth. He goes in the Prastha, and Yudhishthira Maharaj and others, as soon as they hear Krishna is coming, they receive him outside the gates of the town of Indraprastha. They're all looking at Krishna with tears of joy in their face and saying, my Lord, you may feel that you went just a few days back, but for us it appears like you've been away for many yugas. For us, it appears like you've been away for many, many yugas. We're so grateful you have come back. We don't know how to thank you. We're so fortunate. We don't know how we deserved, why we deserve this good fortune of seeing your lotus feet time and again. You're coming here. So they received, and then Krishna goes there and he sits down and chats with them and says, I'm so happy I heard you want to do Rajasuya Yajna. But I have one great concern. Krishna says, I have one great concern. Everything is nice. I want you to go ahead. I want you to be successful. But what is your plan? How do you want to deal with Jarasandha? What's your plan? Jarasandha is powerful. Jarasandha has got an alliance of all evil-minded people around him. Unless you remove him, how can you become the emperor of this world? So, what's your plan? Yudhishthira says, I don't know. I'm also worried. I'm also thinking, how do we deal? Then Krishna tells Yudhishthira on his own, I have a plan. I have a plan. How to remove Jarasandha. And then Krishna explains the plan. That plan involves going with Bhima and Arjuna and Krishna, three of them. Yudhishthira says, no, I cannot give permission for this. He says, why you should take the trouble for my sake? I want to do Rajasuya Yajna. Why I should trouble you? Why that should trouble you? I should actually be serving you. You should not be serving me. I am not interested in this plan. If there's some other way we can do it, where we go and you don't have to go, then I'm okay. But you should not go. Then he also gets scared because he thinks that Jarasandha is so powerful that he doesn't like the idea of allowing Bhima and Arjuna to go also. He says, they're my inseparable like my right hand and the left hand, both of them. What if some harm comes to them? So I don't want this. Doesn't matter. I'll postpone doing this Rajasuya Yajna, but I don't want you to go. I don't want to trouble you. I don't want you to do this. Krishna will affectionately tell him, my dear, I know you have a great affection for me, but then Arjuna will step in and say, we are Kshatriyas. We can't step back out of fear of an enemy. We have to go up, go forward. Then Bhima will say, if Krishna is there guiding me with Jarasandha, I can defeat him. If under Krishna's guidance, I can defeat him. And I want Arjuna also to come, because Arjuna's name is Dhananjaya. He is so blessed by Krishna that wherever he goes, he becomes victorious. Wherever he goes, he becomes victorious. So Krishna is hearing all that, and finally they convince Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira says, very reluctantly, I'm giving you permission to go. I'm embarrassed that you are trying to help me. I should be serving you. And then he also declares, Yudhishthira says, now that you are going, Krishna, along with them, I think Jarasandha is already dead. He's already finished. So you see, that is the kind of dealings that devotees have with Krishna in the Mahabharata. But in Bhagavatam and other scriptures, it's like crazy, you know. It's like, imagine the whole town flooding with curd and yogurt and butter and cheese after they're pouring and smearing each other and pouring on each other. So Nanda Maharaj becomes so ecstatic. So that kind of Krishna is appearing tomorrow. Prabhupada, we should be grateful to him for introducing us to the original personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, in all his infinite glories. Actually, such description was restricted. I mean, imagine none of us would have ever touched the Srimad Bhagavatam had it not been for Prabhupada. None of us would have understood the real glory, purpose of our life, and how intimately we are connected with Krishna had it not been for Prabhupada. And by coincidence, Prabhupada appears one day after Janmashtami. These are all divine. I mean, I wouldn't like to say coincidence. These are all divine arrangements. Just as Yogamaya made arrangements for Krishna's Leela, so you could say that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made these transcendental arrangements so that Prabhupada appears just one day after Krishna Janmashtami. And so it shows how intimately they are connected with one another. So we should be grateful to Prabhupada, Guru Parampara, and we should understand that perfection of life means perfection of the senses of the body, means to hear about Krishna, hear glories of Guru, glories of the Vaishnavas, to see the lotus feet of the devotees and Krishna, to serve them, to continue to make plans on how to serve them, how to chant their glories, how to be dedicated in their service. That is what makes our life perfect. And it is to attract all living entities that Krishna appears. It is to show how intimate relationship he has with devotees. Krishna appears. It is to show how he will fulfill every desire of a devotee. Krishna appears. Nanda Maharaj, Vasudeva, the Shrutis, the sages of Dandakaranya, the Pandavas, anybody, whatever desire they have in their service to Krishna, to fulfill them, Krishna appears. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav ki. So any questions or comments? Imagine devatas coming in the form of birds and just coming to lick that. Yes.
Thank you so much for conveying your ecstasy, Prabhu, to all of us. Prabhu, I was just wondering, you know, I was just reflecting about how you were describing the appearance of Lord Krishna and how the residents of Vrindavan were flooding. They were essentially smearing each other with milk and yogurt and ghee and butter and so on and so forth, and it was overflowing from their house. And I was just having visions of how this temple of Sri Radha Madan Mohan, Iskcon Hyderabad, will be flooding the whole of Hyderabad tomorrow with this kind of exercise. So my question here was, what should be the mood of all the devotees in welcoming all of the thousands and thousands and thousands of people who will be visiting us tomorrow?
What should be our mood?
Yes, Prabhu.
You see, our mood is governed by the vision and the mission of our acharyas, of our guru. So, while we personally celebrate the appearance of Lord Krishna very gratefully, that Lord Krishna chose to appear in this lowly material world, which is like a prison, simply for our benefit, we are grateful to Krishna for coming into our lives in this way, in the manner in which he has come, by giving us the instructions through the Guru Parampara. We're very grateful to our Acharyas, to Guru, to the Vaishnavas of tolerating us and allowing us and helping us and guiding us to serve Krishna. We also are governed by the mood of our Acharyas, especially of Lord Chaitanya. That we are very concerned that in the material world, which is like a prison, people who have turned away from Krishna, so somehow we should make them turn back to Krishna. So that is our mood. We are trying to see that people somehow or other begin their spiritual journey by having darshan, taking prasadam, hearing some kirtan, connecting themselves to the worldwide family of Krishna devotees, attending some course online, offline, whatever it may be. So our anxiety is to connect as many living entities with Krishna, with the Guru Parampara, with trying to fulfill the mission of Lord Chaitanya as expressed by our Gurus. So we can't have a mission which is independent of that of our Guru, or shall we say independent of that of Iskcon. So we want more and more people to get connected. We want more and more people are celebrating Janmashtami. We want more and more temples and centers, and like the whole of Vrindavan was completely transformed. The bees, it said even the flowers were giving out so much fragrance they were giving out, and they were so ecstatic that they were getting an opportunity to be, shall we say, to enter the compound of Nanda Maharaj, even to enter the compound of Nanda Maharaj. So we should also be concerned that it is an exercise of selfless service to Guru and Krishna. Selfless. It is difficult to organize something on this scale, but we still do it. It's difficult to cook for 1.5 lakh people, but still our kitchen team is doing it, because they want to see that every morsel of prasadam that a living entity eats, maybe that's the beginning of his spiritual journey. Maybe that's the first step in his spiritual journey. And that is the only thing we want. We want to facilitate. We want to be a facilitator. We want to bring more and more living entities under the shelter of Krishna, because otherwise they suffer. Otherwise they are suffering the harmful effects of their own karma. It said that within the compound of Nanda Maharaj Vrindavan, the modes of nature also don't enter. The modes of nature. I said words like danda, deceit. I wish I had made a list of words. It's there. So many words. They're not there in the vocabulary of the people of Vrindavan. Cheating, jealousy, envy, anger. Just not there. Lust. They're in a different plane of serving Krishna happily, serve selflessly. So we want everybody to get a taste, a slice of the happiness that a devotee of Krishna can experience. We want to share that. Devotees are selfless missionaries. So it's a time for us to rededicate ourselves into a missionary mood. Hare Krishna. Good question. Yes?
Janmashtami, so very auspicious and very much blissful.
Closer.
Very much blissful. How to make this time more, means that time should stay like that only.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. So you're saying that may this mood of Janmashtami, the celebratory mood of Janmashtami, carry on eternally. Actually, it happens sometimes. When Krishna performed the Rasa dance with the gopis, it said it became the longest night of the universe. It lasted several yugas. And it said that when all the gopis and others were under the Govardhan, hiding from Indra's reign, they were all praying to Krishna, praying to Indra rather, don't stop the rain, please. We are having a fun time of our life. Don't have to go to work, don't have to go to office, don't have to go anywhere. Just stay with Krishna, like that. So they were praising Indra, saying, great job you're doing. He was, let this rain continue, so we can always be staring at Krishna. Like that. So it is said that Krishna fulfills everybody's desire. The gopis of Vrindavan, other than Yashoda, were always thinking, oh, Yashoda is so fortunate, she has Krishna as her child. How about us? We are so unfortunate. I mean, we have children, we love them, they're all friends of Krishna. But it's different having Krishna as our child. So Krishna actually satisfied them during the Brahma Vimohana Leela. For 1 full year, Krishna becomes their child. And then they start thinking, why am I so exceptionally attracted to my child. He was my child yesterday, but today I find it's different. Why am I exceptionally attracted? Why am I so engrossed? This child of mine has always been there with me, but now I feel it's something has changed. They don't know. They can't figure out that it's Krishna who's come in the form of their child. Yogamaya covers that part. So for 1 full year, they relish having Krishna as their child. So it is said that when somebody gets into the mood of offering selfless service, that's a different plane altogether. That's a different level of existence. Selfless, very intense service of Krishna. Actually, people will stay in that mood if they take responsibility on behalf of their guru, on behalf of guru's mission. They take some active responsibility. They're on a different plane. Selflessly dedicating themselves to fulfill their guru's instruction, they come onto a very, very different plane. So it's said that the gopis also feel like that. For them, they can't tolerate separation from Krishna even for a day. When Akrura says, and Krishna trying to assure them, no, just go there, I have some official business, I have some meetings or whatever, I'll come back. Don't worry, I'm back. They can't bear. They say, no, we can't. So it is partly it's on our side also. We have to endeavor to serve Krishna, to chant nicely. So when Krishna's names unfold their mercy upon us, chant without offenses, learn the art of glorifying Krishna, devotees, the temple, everybody who's serving Krishna, they learn the art of glorifying them. Then you become purified of envy. So as envy and other things go away, we will stay eternally on a platform of pure bhakti. Actually, it's more on our side. The onus is on our side than on Krishna's side. Because we become disturbed, we become envious, we become angry, we become jealous when we see someone doing better service than us. So all these things have to be purified. All these things have to be gotten rid of, and then we stay eternally on the platform. So the first step, in my opinion, first step is to dedicate yourself to the mission of your guru. Because there is a statement which says, what is impossible for a devotee who's blessed by a guru, who's blessed by his guru? What is impossible? So Parikshit Maharaj accepted Sukadeva as his guru. And so Sukadeva Goswami opened up the treasure house of ecstatic love. And Parikshit Maharaj was so overwhelmed at the end of the whole thing. He said, I don't care if some Takshaka or whatever, Rakshasa or whatever comes and bites me. I don't care at all. I just want to be like this, surrounded by these beautiful devotees who are always singing praises and glories of Krishna. And that's it. So basically the onus is on us. We become more dedicated, we become more selfless, we serve the devotees. We understand the beauty and the power of serving the devotees who are serving Krishna, serving them and becoming qualified to receive their blessings. Good question. Thank you. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. Maybe my question is
Louder, closer.
Maybe my question is not very big, but I wanted to know what motivates you or what gives you the taste to describe with the pastimes of Krishna with ecstasy, like how you cultivated that taste.
Oh, you're asking, is it a personal question or is it a generic question? Why do people feel so happy when they describe about
for
Krishna?
you.
Is it personal or generic?
It's a personal question for you. Yes.
I wish it was generic. I don't like to talk so much about myself. See, you see, people will end up liking talking about Krishna for the simple reason that there's nothing more sweeter than that. There's nothing in this material, nothing in this existence is sweeter than talking about Krishna. Talking about the glories of Krishna, the sweet qualities of Krishna, or the sweeter qualities of devotees of Krishna. There's nothing in this world which is more sweeter. Talking about the sweet qualities of Krishna or the devotees of Krishna. And you see, in our parampara, the most unqualified, incapable, unworthy a person also becomes by the causeless mercy of Guru Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, Guru Parampara, sometimes becomes an instrument in manifesting, something, not because of his own qualification, but because of the eagerness of the audience or people who are here or something like that. So it would be wrong to take any credit for myself. It is more because of the purity of the assembly, their own eagerness, their own sincerity, their own purity, their own anxious anticipation, that Krishna makes anybody who is available an instrument through which the nectar can flow. You understand what I'm saying? It's not that I am in any way special or something. It's like you open a tap and the water flows. So Krishna, if you somehow allow yourself to become an instrument in Krishna's hand, allow yourself to become an instrument in your Guru's hand. So it's simply Krishna's mystic power, potency that manifests. I'm not saying I'm an instrument in manifesting Krishna's mystic potency, but I'm just saying, in principle, that's how it works. That's how it works. See, there is so much sweetness in Krishna's Leela, Krishna's pastime, that it's not possible to manifest all of that with our own imperfection. Actually, it's not possible to manifest even a bit of that. But what happens is that because we are sitting in an asana where, because of the prayer of your Guru and the Acharyas and Prabhupada and others, that may anybody who comes and shows some sign, even a semblance of sign of surrender, even a semblance, even a shadow of sign of surrender, may they be empowered and may they carry forward this mission. In Kali Yuga, that's simply, this mission is carrying on by the mercy of Guru Parampara. I don't see any other reason. I don't see any other explainable cause. It's simply that the Gurus, Acharyas, devotees, previous predecessor Acharyas have prayed that let this mission continue, let more and more people come under the shelter of Krishna, let more and more people become instruments. Like, for example, once His Holiness Japataka Swami was telling us that he was sitting in a room with Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said that Prabhupada said, I'm going in different parts of the world and I preach and I make devotees, and I'm sure many people, I'm sure the people who are devotees are happy, but I'm also sure that the parents of these people who have become devotees are not very happy with me. I think they're not very happy. And I'm sure they must be cursing me, like they curse Narada Muni. So they curse Narada Muni that, he should not stay in one place and he should always be going. He should never experience quote unquote happiness of Grihastha life. I don't know what happiness is there. I'm still struggling to find out what happiness is there in Grihastha life. But quote unquote, he said, he should never become a Grihastha. He should be condemned. He should be barred from becoming Grihastha. So for Narada Muni, it sounds like music to his ears, wow, nice. Like that. So Prabhupada said, I'm sure many people have cursed me. And then Prabhupada said, I have 108 temples around the world. Some of them are like palaces, very beautiful temples, wonderful devotion. But I can't stay in one place more than 2 days or 3 days. I guess I'm carrying forward that parampara of Narada's, the curse on Narada, the curse has come on me also. And then after my time, this curse will go. This curse will rightfully get transferred to all sannyasi disciples of mine. And I think they will also travel around the world and preach and all that. His Holiness Japataka Maharaj says with a very nice witty smile on his face, he said, at that time I was the only sannyasi sitting in his room. Then he says how after that, he was like the most widely traveled person in the whole world, unimaginable how he traveled till the time he had a stroke in 2008. Even after that, he traveled quite a bit. So, he traveled and he traveled and he traveled, and sometimes Guru Maharaj says that I used to have breakfast in one country, lunch in another country, and dinner in another country, and rest in another place. After some time, he said, I used to have breakfast in one continent, then lunch in another, and then dinner in another, and take rest in another continent. That's how he crisscrossed and met thousands of devotees and disciples around the world. So he said that it got transferred to me, that curse, because I was the only sannyas disciple sitting at that point of time in front of Prabhupada. So you see, the beauty of this whole pastime is that he doesn't take credit for himself. He says it's Prabhupada's mercy, Prabhupada's blessing. That curse Prabhupada transferred to me. And I just accepted whatever my Guru gives. So the principle in bhakti is always this. We follow a Guru, we want to serve the Guru, we want to please the Guru, and whatever the role Guru gives us, we try our level best sincerely to discharge that. Whatever role, time, destiny, our Guru, whatever divine arrangement you get, you try your best to selflessly discharge that responsibility. And you don't know, and better not think about what's happening. Then the more you think about what you're able to do, then more you will want to take credit for that. Just go on from having done today. Okay, what can I do tomorrow? Don't meditate too much on what you have done or accomplished. Then there's a problem there. Whatever has happened simply primarily because of Guru and Krishna's arrangement. They have done it, not me. I can't take even the smallest share of credit. I can't. In spite of me, some good has happened. That's how we have to think. Not because of me. In spite of me, some good is happening. Imagine somebody more qualified, maybe he would have done so many things. Like that. That's how we think. Good question. Thank you very much. Shri Shri Krishna Janmashtami Mahotsav ki Jagat Guru Patit Pavan Srila Prabhupada ki Iskcon Hyderabad Bhakta Vrinda ki. I go Premanande.